Okay, you guys will be simplifying rational expressions. The next thing that you're going to go through is rational expressions. And so a rational expression is something like 5x cubed all over 10x squared. So we have an expression on top and an expression on bottom, and when we divide them into a fraction, it's called rational. So we want to simplify this. What we want to do is cancel things out, and you may have done this in Plato. 5 over 10, if you just think of it as 5 over 10 only, well, on top you can divide by 5, on bottom you can divide by 5, it would simplify down to 1 over 2. So let me write that over here. Now, with x's, you think there's 3 x's on top because of that exponent. There's 2 downstairs. And then whenever we have something over itself, like 5 over 5 or 10 over 10, those always cancel just so they are 1. So these would cancel, this would cancel, and I'd have 1x over 2. But I don't normally write that, I just write x over 2. So our job today is to take something that's more complicated, simplify it down. Alright, so things that you might see. For example, 56v minus 72 all over 32v. Now the first thing you should always do is factor. And if I think about 56 and 72, I know that that is the same as, if I pull out an 8, that would be 7v minus 9. So I reverse distributed, I factored out a GCF. If I was to do 8 times 7, that would be 56. If I do 8 times 9, that would be 72. Now 32v will stay down there. When I factor things out like this, I'm going to focus on 8 over 32. 8 over 32 is the same as, I'm going to divide by 8, so that would be 1/4. So if I wanted to, I could put a 1 out front, but I don't have to. So I know this is going to be 7v minus 9 all over 4v. Now a lot of people will cancel out these v's here, but there's a problem with that. I can't cancel unless I can do the butterfly. And if you remember me talking about it, the butterfly looks like this. Now that would be able to divide. I could cancel out the v's that way, but if I look at the other wing of my butterfly, that right wing I can't cancel out v's. I don't have a v over here. So my final answer is 7v minus 9 all over 4v. It's simpler than that one up there, so I would stop there. Okay. So I'd like you to try one. Just do it on some scratch paper, pause the video, and when you're done, just watch me do it. Okay, so I expect that you guys have finished this already. Now this one, I look at the top and I think, what can I factor out? Well, there's a GCF here. I could pull 5v out of those. So I have v minus 1 all over 1 minus v. And guys, here's a trick. If you have v minus 1 and 1 minus v, I can actually leave the top the same, but let me factor out a minus 1 down here. What happens is 1 divided by minus 1 is minus 1, and negative v divided by negative 1 is positive v. So I could rewrite that as 5v v minus 1 all over negative 1. And I'm just going to flip these around. That's okay, v minus 1. Now that's where the fun starts happening, because v minus 1 is over v minus 1. You can cancel those. And what's left over is 5v over negative 1. Now if I just do 5 divided by negative 1, that's negative 5v. Okay, so don't feel bad if you didn't get that one right away. You'll get used to it. There's one other thing that you will see later on. For example, you might see something like x minus 8 over x squared plus x minus 72. That rational expression. I hope you're getting from this that every time you encounter one, you need to factor. Now the top, there's nothing I can do to it. But on bottom, what goes into 72 and would add to positive 1? If I look at pairs, eventually I would come across 8 and 9. Because this is negative 72, 1 has to be negative, and if it's adding to positive 1, I know it has to be a negative 8, so they add to positive 1. So that means downstairs I have x minus 8, x plus 9. So when you factor this, you notice that is the same as that downstairs. Those cancel out. Nothing's upstairs, so I would just say that there's 1 up there. And downstairs I have x plus 9. That would be my final answer. So let me give you guys one you could try before you actually get to your work. Okay, so pause the movie and try this one out. Alright, so hopefully you tried it. And the first thing you should do is factor the top. If I look at negative 54, I'm trying to think of pairs that would add to 3. But not just any 3, this is a negative 3. So, as I go through the list, I would eventually come across 6, 9. And I know that because it's a negative 3, the 9 has to be negative. So this has to be automatic, guys. We have to be able to factor very easily. The point is, we have p minus 9, p plus 6, and downstairs we still have a p minus 9 that's left over from the beginning. Well, these can cancel. Now you could write p plus 6 all over 1, because you canceled and there's only 1 down there, but really, that's just the same as p plus 6.